6 things that you can journal about. So I see all the time people are asking, okay, what do I journal about? What do I journal about? I know I need to journal, but what do I need to journal about? And this is really a personal preference. I'm just gonna give you some ideas. This is a personal preference. And then the more you journal, if you just write down what happened today, what stood out for you, what were the highlights? What do you want to remember, like memories or stories? What do you want to remember from today? Anything that's pivotal, something that was major that happened. You want to write those things down. How did you feel, And so these are just 6 things that you can journal about. What I love about journaling is there's no rules. You can do what you want. You can do how you want. So if you want to just journal in the mornings, you can do that. If you want to journal for a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can do that. You can do morning pages, which is Julia Cameron has a book out that talks about the morning pages, and it's just 3 pages of consciousness. It's just writing down what's going on in your head right then. What are you thinking about? It's no filters. You don't take your pen off the paper. You just write down what you're whatever you're thinking about for that day or that morning, what's on your mind. And I love this because you can just leave it all on the paper. You could just leave it all on the paper and then walk away. 6 things to journal about. So the first one is prayers. You can write down whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, and then you can ask God to help you with whatever it is. You can ask Him to give you guidance, wisdom, knowledge. You can ask Him to help you meet the need, give you some guidance, protection. So you can just write down your prayers. You can just write it all out. And I think about David in the Psalms, how he was crying out to God about what was going on in his life. And we can do the same thing on a piece of paper. And what I love about prayers in a journal is that it's your own private thoughts, your own private feelings that nobody else has to have access to, that you can just write it all on a piece of paper, and then you can throw it away. You can just keep it for yourself, but nobody else has to know what you were, writing to God, or what are you asking God for. It's your own personal thing. Number 2 is thoughts. So what are you thinking today? What's going on in your mind? Most of us have thoughts, like ruminating thoughts. That means thoughts that we think about over and over again. And if we keep a thought journal, that means that we write down all of our thoughts for a week, a month, a year, every single day. We start to see patterns of things that play over and over in our head. Most of it is stuff from the past. Most of it is stuff that is completely out of our control. We can't do anything about it. It's over and done with, but we're replaying it over and over our head. We've made something that was very, very small and minuscule, something huge, because we've played it over and over again. And the more we play it over and over again, it just gets bigger and bigger. So this little minuscule thing is now a big old molehill, just like we made a mountain out of something that was nothing. So just write down, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? That's number 3 is feelings. Write down your feelings. So how do you feel today? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you grumpy? Are you angry? What's going on with you? Write down how you feel. And then whenever I write down how I feel, I also want to know what the weather's like. Is it cold? Is it wet? Is it hot? What's going on with the weather? Because that could affect how you feel. You could feel gloomy because it's wintertime and it's cold outside. But write down how you feel. Did something happen that has you angry? Did something happen that has you worried? Did something happen that has you happy? But write down how you feel. And you can have a mixture of emotions, right? Not just one. You can have a mixture of emotions. But just write down what you're feeling. And also it's good to write down why you're feeling that way. Did something happen? If there was an event attached to your emotion or your feelings, you want to write that down. 4 is ideas. So I love a good idea, and I want to capture all the good ideas. And because I'm a content creator, I keep a journal with me. I carry a journal with me everywhere I go. I keep it in my purse, on the side of my bed at nighttime. I have a journal. When I get out of the shower, I have a journal there that if I get a good idea, I want to write it down. I want to capture the idea right away. I can't trust it to my memory, because within seconds, that idea is gone. Within seconds. So I want to capture that idea immediately. So, always have you something, a journal or notebook with a pen, or if you want to put it in your phone in the notes. Make sure you capture your good ideas, because they will escape you. But this is a great thing to journal, is your ideas. And you might just have an idea section or idea page that you write down all your ideas. Maybe it's something that you're going to pursue. Maybe it's something that you want. Maybe it's something that you've been thinking about. Maybe it's an answer or solution to somebody's problem. 5 is lessons. So I started doing this, I think it's been 2 years now. Every single day I look at lessons. What did I learn today? And I just have it titled on my journal page, lessons, the date, of course, where I am when I'm documenting this in the time, because this is important to me for every journal entry. I want to put the date, the time, where I am, and then I might put what the weather is outside, but I always want to capture the lessons that I've learned. And so I want to be able to pass this on to my children. I'm going to write a book, put all my lessons in that book. But what did you learn? I believe that we should not waste good experiences. I believe that we should not waste failures and obstacles. We need to journal about this, because these things, there are lessons in all these things. There's lessons in successes. There's lessons in failures. But if we don't reflect on it and capture what we're learning, we will keep making the same mistakes. We won't even know that we've been through the same thing before. We could have learned the lesson the first time. But if we capture the lessons, we can only get better and better. We capture the lessons, then we go, we use it as feedback and go on and do better next time. But we need to capture the lessons. What are we learning? And then when we learn something, we can share with somebody else, our customers, our friends, our family, our children, our spouses, our nieces, our nephews, our parents. We can share what we're learning. It is selfish to keep things that you've learned to yourself. And we have an obligation and a responsibility, if we learn something, to share it with somebody else to make their life better. We have an obligation. There's no reason why we should keep things that we've learned to ourselves. It doesn't make any sense. We make people think that they're the only one that went through something because we didn't share our experiences. No, we need to share what we're learning. And then last is stories. So this is a great one. If you are a storyteller, you're an author, you're a speaker, you're a coach, you some type of creative, or if you're in business, or you're an executive or in a leadership, stories are great to capture. So every single day you can just kind of look at, and I got this from this book, Story Worthy. And I think Donald Miller is the author, but I know for sure the book is Story Worthy. Let me see if it's on my shelf. It's not. No, but I know the book is Story Worthy. But you can just look at in the book, he was talking about keeping a list of stories. So every single day, something happened that you want a memory, something that you want to remember, you would document it in your journal. There's a story, something that happened that you think maybe that that is a story you want to share that proves a point or makes a point. And so it is good to keep stories so that you might be able to tell them later, as a memory. It might be something that you tell later to make a point. And so stories are good to capture. Stories are really good to capture. You can use them for all kind of things. So stories are good to capture. And if we don't capture them, most likely we'll forget. We'll forget how impactful they were. We'll forget how much they meant to us. We'll forget the lesson. Okay, so 6 things to journal about. Number 1 was prayers. 2 is thoughts. So what are you thinking? 3 is feelings. How do you feel? 4 is ideas. 5 is lessons. What did you learn? And then 6 is stories. So these are 6 things to journal about. So there's plenty of things to journal about. There's all kind of stuff. This is a personal thing. You'll kind of see as you kind of go through, your process of journaling, what it is that you want to journal, what's important to you, what do you want to. Sometimes people have habit trackers in their journal. They make pages of habit trackers. They track water, exercise, nutrition. So it's just different things that you can track as well. But this is a personal thing. You'll kind of experiment. You'll need to experiment to really find out what it is that you want to track or what it is that you want to journal about. But journaling is super, super helpful. It has all kind of benefits. So think about that today. Tell me below, what is it is this your first time journaling? Are you going to try to commit to journaling for maybe 30 days? Or how many minutes are you going to commit to journaling? Maybe 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Just tell me in the comments.